Hi guys, it's Ray. I am going to show you how to do one of my alcohol ink on glass panels that I shared in the group. I'm making this specifically to share to the group. So if you are not a part of the 651 vinyl group on Facebook, the link is in the description below, and the link to the store is in the description below, because I am super excited that 651 Vinyl is now carrying alcohol inks, which are my very, very favorite medium to work with. So I'm going to be showing you how to do one of these. For these, all I do is ink the back side of the glass in the frame, and then I put my vinyl right on the front side, the Oracal 651. So I'm going to try and do one of the rainbow ones. This particular piece I did use fire on. I did these outside in the summer when it was warm out. I'm obviously not going to flame my glass in my house, and it's snowing outside right now, so there's no work to be done outside. You do run the risk, if you use fire on these, to crack the glass. It's really not necessary. It can just sometimes speed up the project or give you a little bit of a different effect, but completely unnecessary. This is a great beginner ink project, so I'm going to get right to it. Like I said, I'm going to do a rainbow. This is just a piece of 8x10 glass. Honestly, it probably came out of a dollar store frame. Okay, the first thing you want to do is clean your glass with alcohol, just to make sure there's not a lot of fingerprints or grease or oils on it. It doesn't even actually really matter if it's dry, because I'm going to be using regular isopropyl alcohol throughout this process. The site launched with 25 ink colors this week. They're going to be adding more as they go. Some of the colors I'm going to use, they have on the page. Some of them they don't yet. But there's such a huge variety of color at this point that for this rainbow project, any of the rainbow colors would work just fine. Like this happens to be one of the brand new colors that just launched for 2020. They don't have that on the page yet, but I'm sure they'll be adding them at some point. So I'm just going to use inks. I'm probably not even going to be using a blending tool, and I am not going to be using the blending solution because the way I'm putting these together, it's completely unnecessary. The difference between the blending solution and just working with alcohol is the blending solution actually has a little bit of a resin into it. So if you're going to work with the mixatives they listed on the site, you're really going to want the blending solution, because that will fix the metallics in the mixative. But for something like this, just plain old alcohol is good enough. So I'm going to actually start with just a couple drops spread out. You will want to protect your work surface, and you will want to wear gloves when working with ink, just so you don't stain yourself. I'm going to start in this corner and kind of work at an angle on my way down. And it's literally just as simple as dropping the inks on. I do have two of most of the colors. So in the pinks, I used Flamingo on this one and the new Fiesta. For the reds, I'm going to use Crimson and Cranberry. The alcohol inks do evaporate fairly quickly. The color, the alcohol out of them will evaporate quickly. But because I put alcohol on the glass, it's going to have some movement and flow. I am not, like I said, going to use a blending tool. I do have just a small stack of pieces of paper towel handy, so if I start to get muddy spots, I can just blot them back up. If you watched Alex's beginner video the day they launched the inks, You saw she has a round dauber. I have 2 of these. I do believe this may have been like the original one when they came out with the inks back in 2004. But they do have square daubers. They do have round daubers. They just Velcro a felt pad on. You can put your inks onto the dauber, or you can put it onto your surface and daub from there. Again, for this process, it's not 100% necessary, but that's how you can work those, or you can, maybe I'll do that with the yellows and the orange. So I'm going to do Sunset Orange, and I'm going to use Valencia Orange, and I cannot find my Sunshine Yellow. Maybe I'm out, but I'm going to use Dandelion for my yellow. So you can apply them like that. You only need a couple drops. The inks stretch a long way. But you could daub them on. And this is my old one, so it's not as sticky anymore. So I'm going to switch that pad to this one. I don't even know that the Velcro piece is on there right now. It might be stuck in my container where I keep my inks. But so if you're going to use the dauber, that's how you use them. Either way, off the surface and onto the thing, or onto the felt pad and onto your surface. In my greens, I am going to use Citrus and Mojito. This is another one of the new colors that just got released for 2020. They just came out about a week ago. And I am pretty excited about the new colors. That's Citrus. This one's the Mojito. Whoops. With the alcohol inks, you can blend and layer and add, like here where I touched this with my gloved finger, that's where I'm going to take that alcohol saturated rag and just wipe it right back off, since the yellow doesn't belong there. This is Aqua. I do know that this one is on the site. I know that Alex used it on a keychain in the 651 video when they launched the inks to the site. So there's that. And I've got Purple Twilight and Vineyard in my purples range. And you can do as many colors as you want, as few colors as you want. Some I use 2, some I use 12. There's no right or wrong to any of this. You can thin them out a little bit with the alcohol. Which will just give them some more natural flow. Really, really, really no right or wrong. Again, if you don't have a dauber, you can just take a paper towel and blot. When I do these with the flame, which again I'm not doing tonight, I never touch the glass with anything except the alcohol inks and regular alcohol and fire. You don't have to have one of their fancy tools. You can take anything you want. I could take one of my little medicine cups and glue a small piece of felt to the bottom and use that, because the pads are literally just a small piece of felt. When I say it's getting muddy, this is what I mean, where the colors are sitting together for too long, they get kind of muddled. I didn't leave any of my other felt pads out, so I'm just going to grab a few more if I have any. Simply because I am working indoors and not heating it to dry it quicker. They also have these thicker spongy foams for these daubers. It's got a piece of hair in that. And you can also use, if you don't have any of that, the little makeup wedges that you get at Walmart or the Dollar Tree. They work too. I'll use one of those down here to show you. They make a good blending tool. For the inks as well. But I kind of like just the symmetry, the circles, and letting them move and flow on their own. But it's all a matter of personal preference, what works for you. This is my Velcro for this one. It was stuck in the box. So, blend in my greens a little bit. Down over my blue. And again, if you take too much off, you can just go back in and add more. Working indoors where it's a little cooler, I don't really need to do too much alcohol because they're going to stay wetter a little bit longer on their own. And you can kind of see where I haven't messed with it, where it's just, I don't like this line where the green and the orange and yellow got muddy. So I'm just going to kind of wipe some of that off. And this is where I may need a little alcohol, because it will release that. Just wipe it right off the edge. Simple as that. And then I can go back in with some more of the orange and some more of the yellow. But the more you layer them on top of each other, the more they'll blend together, just to give different effects. My table's probably also not level. And the more different colors of each family you use, the more of a blend of color you'll get. But alcohol inks are super fun. It's just playing. They'll basically work on any non-porous surface. Like where they're getting on this regular paper, that's it. It's just going to soak in and it's going to be done. But any kind of metal, plastic, glass, you'll have a good long working time. The blending solution and the regular isopropyl alcohol will just reactivate it over and over and over again. But you just keep adding and blending, and I find that the white vinyl pops the best off the inks. So this one will probably get some kind of white saying when I'm finished. I don't know what yet. I haven't given it any thought. This wasn't something that I had planned on working on today. But this will dry pretty quickly. And again, whatever colors you like, you can concentrate more on. If you have any spots where it didn't take, like where I didn't wash it enough, you can just go back in and add a little bit there. I kind of don't mind where it's got some circular stuff, some streaky stuff, some blended. It's just really, really, really play with it until it's how you like it. If I was doing this piece outside, I would have fired it and it would have been done, dried, ready to go. I can't hold it up to the light yet. But I would flip it over, put a piece of white paper behind it to really make it pop, unless it was a piece I knew was going on like a white wall, and then do my vinyl on the front side. I do have one here that has gray vinyl on it. Just a little elephant I caught ages ago. It's just been hanging out. I don't know why I cut it, just for fun, I guess. I just got a little green on the front side that I'm going to remove. For this one, this is the side with the vinyl, so I want to make sure I work on this side. I think I'm going to do, I keep getting green on it because I keep touching it with my gloves. I think I'm going to do all blues and purples and maybe some pink. So I'm just going to move the rest of these out of the way. Some people would argue that you have to put your caps back on in between every drop, and otherwise they're going to get, they're going to dry out. They're not. The Ranger bottles specifically are designed to draw back in on themselves. I don't really know how to describe it. But if you've ever watched any kind of a tutorial with Tim Holtz, he will tell you over and over again that you do not have to worry about it. It will be fine. So, and like I said, I've been working with these inks for 15 years or better now, and I have never had an issue. So, I'm not going to concern myself with closing them all right away and like freaking out and panicking. I think I'm going to put this felt dauber on here. Sorry, I'm off frame. And I'm just going to drop the colors on here and there. A bunch of different blues and purples. It really doesn't take much, but you do have to work kind of quickly. So that they don't dry out on your dauber. And I don't know if I even got all of these colors or not. So I'm just going to start blotting them on. And you'll be able to tell when it starts to run out of ink. But this will give you that nice blended kind of tie-dye effect. And in reality, like that much ink that you just saw me apply will give you full coverage. Now the purple kind of overtook some of my aquas and turquoise colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more of those again, and just those, and go back over this a little bit. These pads are not reusable. Like, once you're done with them, you're done. Throw it away. They'll dry out and they'll get stiff and hard. Let's see, that'll bring more of the blue back in. depending on how you pounce, you're going to get a different size circle and shape. And this one, because I added no alcohol, I'm going to be able to flip over and show you the other side fairly quickly. Let me get my white paper. I can't actually set the white paper to it. You don't want to put it on your white paper until you're sure it's fully dried, but it shouldn't take long. And then I have that beautiful background and my cute little elephant in the front. This would be a great little piece of like nursery decor. You can go back in and put a name or a little saying or whatever you want on it. I see I missed this little corner, so I'm just going to touch that up quick. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll try and keep track of the group in case there's any questions. I can keep going over this and layering this because you'll get different effects like this the more you go back in and layer. But I'm actually going to call that piece done. I'm going to grab the rainbow one again and see if I can turn it over. I wasn't prepped to do videos today, so I do have like some dog hairs floating around, and but there's that nice little rainbow piece ready for whatever kind of saying you want to put on it. All right, that's it. Quick and easy. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask them here or over in the group. The group would be great because more people will see it there, and I'll be able to address questions, issues, whatever. I am going to probably do some more alcohol ink videos. I put a couple things up already, but alcohol inks being my favorite medium, I do use them on tumblers. I've been doing, and I did post these in the group, these wood panels. This one has epoxy on it already. This one does not. And I've been doing things like this fun collage. So, questions, go ahead and ask. I'm not an expert on alcohol inks, but like I said, I've been using them for more than 15 years. I do have, and you probably see, like this is one of the almost original bottles. Some colors, I have 3 different bottles from the very first one to the newest release. So, I'll show you real quick. I have a very small workspace and I don't have a great storage system. I've outgrown this, so this is on my weekend to-do list of like find somewhere else to put my inks. But, you know, this is my ink collection. So, and there are some on the site that I am out of that I need to replace, and there are other new ones that he just put out that I am waiting to come in the mail now. So, I do have a bit of an ink addiction. All right. Thanks for watching, and I will see you over in the group. Bye-bye.